For the most surprising thing, I still got to go back and say the Chargers, man. I mean, I expect them to play a lot better, especially at home. They're just turning back into the regular old Chargers. And
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast, the authentic voice of sports leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, Week 5 wrap-up, dealing with the business aspects of football, and we're going to have a preview of Week 6. Joining us today, Captain for Life, Will Cotton, and our academic and athletic consultant, George Ockard. George, what is the best thing you saw Week 5 of the NFL season?
Carolina Panthers. Let's go Carolina Panthers. They actually came back and showed me that they could actually come in and get something done and win a game. I got to give it to them this week, and yeah, I got to go with it. Bryce looked pretty good down there, so I got
All
to go.
right. Will Cotton, what's the best thing you saw Week 5 of the NFL season?
oh, Commanders winning out west. Went out there, beat a really good team. Some people say they're a playoff team. Some people say they're going to win the division. I don't believe it. Y'all know I don't believe it, but great win for the Commanders.
Uh,
All right, I got to jump in. Best thing I saw was that the Dallas Cowboys actually look good. Shout out to Big Brother Almighty Rick. Cowboys got a strong win, and strictly for entertainment purposes only, I had them -1.5. All right, Will, what was the worst thing you saw today in the NFL?
Oh, it's got to be the Ravens. A team that's so built to be win the Super Bowl, like everybody's saying. I know a lot of guys are out and things like that, but you can't even a close game. I would have even had if they had lost, 27-28 or something like that. But you can't get whooped like that, by the Houston Texans. You just getting beat up. There's gonna be a lot of soul searching right now in Baltimore because they're gonna have to figure out what they're doing because this iteration is not working. Especially they got to get guys healthy too. So we'll see. They have a tough and next week they have a tough game against the Rams. So I mean, shoot, things could get even worse. So
Ouch.
ugly loss.
All
yeah,
right, George, what was the worst thing you saw Week 5?
I could go that low hanging fruit right there with the Ravens, but you want to know mine is who are the Cardinals? Who are the Cardinals? I mean, you get Tennessee in there and you're beating them up the whole beginning of the first half, and then you let them come back and you lose the game on the field goal at the end. Well, I mean, the Cardinals play teams tough as hell. People hate going to Arizona because they'll beat you up, they hit you hard, but they can't finish. The Cardinals, they again, we're back where we are. It seems like they're like this every year. They're always the hardest playing 5-5 team every freaking year. And to me, they're underachievers with the talent they have. So you expect you with the talent they have, you keep expecting them to make that step to the next level, but they never do. So I'm sorry, Arizona. I know y'all are the fans out there crying again.
Mm, Yeah, I'm a little disappointed for strictly for entertainment purposes only reasons. Worst thing I saw was the Eagles losing to Denver, being down 14. I mean, they were up 14 heading to the fourth. Lost interest in the game, even though I was watching strictly for entertainment purposes only. But the Eagles got a problem, man, and we may talk about it in segment two, but that's not good. So George, what's the most surprising thing you saw?
I'm going to the Eagles. Their passing game just disappeared. I mean, once they had a total control, but they looked off all day today, especially offensively, and they could not. I mean, they got bludgeoned up front today. They just the Broncos just ran the ball up there right down the throat, and they couldn't do much about it. So yeah, the Eagles really not showing up. That for the most part did not look terrible to me. That was shocking.
Yeah. Will, what was the most surprising thing for you today?
For the most surprising thing, I still got to go back and say the Chargers, man. I mean, I expect them to play a lot better, especially at home. They're just turning back into the regular old Chargers. And based on the first game when they really beat the Chief, I was like, oh man, if they're all on the schedule, that's going to be a real big problem with them because they're looking good, you know. I was just surprised that they did not really even I mean, forget the win or loss or something like that. They didn't even look like they really competing. I mean, it was what 27-10. I mean, at home and beat it was just a bad look. I was surprised to be honest with you. It was that bad. So yeah, not looking
Well,
good at all.
well, me and I got to be coach on this one, Will. I'm surprised at the lack of national coverage on Mark Sanchez and his. So look, let me get this out of the way. I have been to Indianapolis on many occasions with basketball, and I've enjoyed a meal at St. Elmo's. I've enjoyed the downtown city. So when I heard that something happened and there was a stabbing in Indy, I'm like, now look, Indy might have some bad neighborhoods, but not by the stadium. It's nice down there. So my brother Rick, bless his heart, he's had a beverage or two in his day. He shot me a text and he said I could talk about it and say, hey man, he probably has some false courage in him. And I'm thinking that's what's going to happen as somebody who's had some false courage. I think that's what happened. So we speculated within our chat, but I'm gonna go with my brother's thought. And then, sure enough, there's video footage of him having some false courage, and yeah. So I want you to have as much heat with Mark Sanchez as you have with Shedeur, as you have with all. I want all that. Give Mark Sanchez all that Shedeur Sanders smoke, and that was the most surprising thing I saw. So, fans, when we get back in segment two, we got to talk about the business of football. And I got the two businessmen talking about it with me. We'll be right back on the Eye Coaches Podcast.
Today's student athletes face pro-level challenges without pro-level support. The CKA SAVE project is here to change that. For 16 plus years, Dr. Keith Adams and his team have provided comprehensive academic and athletic support from middle school through post-graduation transitions. NIL guidance, transfer portal navigation, academic coaching, career planning, they've got it covered. The CKA SAVE project. When your future is on the line, experience matters. Learn more at www.ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment two, I want to talk about the business aspects of the NFL and one of my favorite movies of all time. And this weekend, I'll have a chance to go there. I got a tear in my eye already. Purple Rain is one of my favorite movies, and I and my beautiful wife get to go to Paisley Park and take the Ultimate Prince tour. So nobody's going to be able to talk to me next week when I have all my Prince stuff on. But in the scene, after Prince sings Darla Nikki, which brought his personal business to the stage, Billy said, this is a business, and you ain't too far gone to see that. There's a lot of business going on in the NFL that people need to be checked on. George, is there any situation going on right now that you want to talk about in terms of the business of football?
Um, is well, right now, I want to see what they're going because they've been talking about. I want to see where the NFL ends up. They're pushing every week. We got a game over in Europe. I want to, and the NFL seems probably on the same bus, train, or whatever boat across the pond as possible. So they're looking at to do the expansion in NFL Europe. So I want to see where this is going to go. Yes, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities, probably for a lot of guys, for a lot of other guys. But how is this going to be handled? What is it going to look like? You've heard a lot of rumors on what it's going to be like. Is this going to be a minor league? What, or then it's like the other half. So, and if they do this, man, the NFL is about to become global. It's already huge here. They get huge ratings when they go to Europe. What is this going to come out looking like? That's the one big. That's the one big one I got because I got two big ones. That's the one big. The other one is this is what I need to understand. Roger Goodell seems to be in bed with the Republicans, Trump, and they kind of follow this whole situation. But this is your second year you have a controversial artist doing the Super Bowl. One that does not support anything that Trump or our administration or anybody has, where you got Bad Bunny, which I I'm in favor of. You like to see that kind of stuff, but what is going on? How is this going to? What is this backlash going to be
So
like?
before I let Will go, this is a business.
That's right.
And they had talked about people coming in and federal this, that, and the other. Man, this is
But
about getting clicks on a TV screen.
yeah,
Bad Bunny is a global artist, not a
and
U.S. artist.
that's
And
why
there's
they
going
go
to be a
together.
lot of clicks to
Yeah,
see Bad Bunny. So,
this
as
is
a
why
business,
and
it's
this
not
is
a bad move.
and this is why I started off with the international piece, because is A leading into B? Or do we do we have Bad Bunny out there to start to perpetuate our move and our establishment over in
Huh?
over in Central America, South America, or even into Europe? Because yeah, Bad Bunny is a is probably top
I mean,
worldwide
he's
artist.
hosting Saturday Night
So,
Live. That's click,
so
click,
it,
click.
it is a very interesting time with the NFL. It looks like they're becoming the evil empire, because they're trying to go ahead and push it and take over.
All right, Cotton Man, what are you thinking about the business of the NFL?
Oh man, I gotta call my man Shedeur Sanders. I gotta talk about my guy.
I
You
let it go because I knew Will was gonna get it. Go, Will.
you got to. Like, as a fan, as another brother, man, I would love that he speaks his mind. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to tone it down. He's grown up rich. You know what I'm saying? He's grown up with a lot of flash and dash and the name, so he's never been humble. So he speaks and does things that he needs to do. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's part of his game, in my opinion. But the father in me definitely says to him, like, don't give them ammunition. Don't give them ammunition. Everyone said, oh, well, you're trying to turn them into a stereotype, or you want them to talk like this and talk like that. And sometimes it's like, yes, if you want to play and if you want to play in the NFL, there's certain things you got to do that you're not gonna like, and everybody plays that game. If you have some sort of, it don't matter what job you have to placate to something. You have to some. It don't matter if you have your own business. You're gonna go up to a vendor and say, hey, I really want to work with you, man. I really like you. You're great, nice person. Even that person, you don't like him. So I think obviously we see the consistency, the inconsistency of everything going on. Inconsistency, sorry, when he's not allowed to be a young man. They kind of hold him up a lot. He's older than he is. It's really paying for the sins of his father. That's really what it is. They don't like Dion. They don't like the success. They don't like the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame. They don't like that he has a loud mouth. They don't like that he has some sort of success in Colorado, a crazy following. And you get punished by stuff like that. So it's unfortunate, man. And I hope that he just continues to grow mature. He grows maturity, just becomes a little bit more mature about things, be a little bit more careful about his acts and things like that. Because from what I've seen, his family, especially like his brother, they don't seem very well read. And that could be another problem as well. So you got to grow up a little bit, man. But I would have said that to him very privately, kind of like a big brother kind of thing or a father thing. But yeah, man,
Why they got the third string quarterback getting interviewed anyway? So Cleveland has got to do a better job of protecting that kid. But I don't want to go too sideways with that piece. Go ahead, George.
What's interesting is we perpetuate, because in every sport, arrogance is a virtue. There's not a time I did not step on a baseball field that I did not believe I was the best player out there. And you want every player to believe that when they step out on the field. When they when they score touchdowns and they hit home runs and they make baskets and they celebrate, we cheer. When they get in their locker room, they wanna, and they like, oh yeah, we're this and we're that, and I'm the man and this, we cheer. But the second they do it, when they're not with the media or they're not friendly to the media, now you want to tear them down. It's it's the biggest oxymoron, because you want us to be great when you want us to be great when you want us to be great. Not you, and you don't want us to think we're great. You don't want us to acknowledge that until you tell us we're great. But no athlete has ever reached that pinnacle by not believing that they're great. So, and I said this in our chat earlier. He is on that same track as Barry Bonds. No matter what Barry Bonds did, media hated him and they were going to talk bad about him. So it doesn't matter what Shedeur does; they're going to find something bad with it, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. For me, in terms of the business aspects, I have to remind the NFL that justice is blind. There are rules and regulations, and discovery works both ways. Jon Gruden's case continues to move forward, and no one is immune once discovery hits. And Will Cotton will tell you, as a professional in the industry, not everybody checks their emails, not everybody deletes properly, not everybody follows through proper channels and protocols, and all you got to find is one. And it's over. So, as my late great attorney Chauncey Johnson once said, stay out of court, settle, don't go, because it can go sideways very quickly. So, the NFL, you might want to find Jon Gruden, and if the Raiders need a coach or some, just find a way to leave that guy alone. Because if this goes to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court is going to just say, wait a second, you're no longer an employee in this organization. You do not have to abide by their rules. And there's your problem, NFL. Every court is telling you this guy doesn't work for you. He doesn't have to follow your rules. And if it gets to court, yeah, it's not going to go very well, in my humble opinion. And with that, in segment 3, we are going to preview the following week and talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy, designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Connor couldn't be with us today, so Will Cotton, give us the OCP top 5.
Oh, man, I'll do my best, man. I'll give you got the Bills, number 1. So for now, they haven't played yet. Bills, Eagles, Lions, Colts, Tampa. That's my 5.
Eagles? Even with the bad loss?
Still in there. Still in there. Still one of the best teams in there. Still in there.
George, any thoughts, sir?
What was that? You had the Eagles. I mean, you had the
Bills, Eagles, Lions, Colts, Tampa.
All right, I gotta, maybe them Eagles are a little too high, but but that we'll go with it. I'm good with it. I ain't arguing with it.
All right. In terms of gambling recap, I had some misses because the Giants couldn't get the job done. Had them on a 2-play with the Commanders. I had Arizona winning. That didn't work out for me. So yeah, this is not good. I think the Commanders and the Chargers won the under, but we'll keep fighting. So George, next week's schedule's out. What do you think? Any games of interest for you, sir?
I'm going to see what we had Buccaneers on the top five. I want to see because they got the 49ers. So that should be one to watch. Sunday night game is gonna be good. You get the Lions and the Chiefs. Yeah, I think the Chiefs needed time to get things back, get some people healthy. They look good They look good last week, so we're gonna see where they are. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking at the bad bowl, the Titans and the Raiders, because because Gino's playing horrible.
Would you
Cam
call
and
it the
them got
bad
a
bowl?
Cam and them got a come from behind win. So let's see who's gonna be the stinker for the year. So we're gonna see what's up.
All right. Cotton Man, any game of note? And will you be in attendance Monday night?
Monday night, no. Monday night, no. But I am gonna be at Baltimore versus the Rams, Ravens versus Rams on Sunday. They got a
Oh,
sweep and everything, so we're gonna be in that joint, kind of kicking.
oh,
But I'm looking at who am I looking at? Of course, I'm gonna check out Philly versus Giants. It's Thursday, might as well. It'll be interesting. The Chargers are going over to Miami.
oh,
Both. I don't think it doesn't change anything for Harbaugh, but man, that'd be a bad loss if they go to
yeah.
Miami and lose. That's all I got to
Yeah, I'm,
say.
I'm not a fan of that. The Monday night doubleheader got better than that last doubleheader that they had. Buffalo is going to Atlanta, and Chicago is coming back to the scene of the crime of where their season was derailed. Uh, so they take on the Commanders, and Minnesota's on a bye week, and Houston's on a bye week. So that should be interesting with that. So thank you, gentlemen. So on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, the authentic voice of sports leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. Also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on the X platform at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Keith Adams and the CKA Save Project on social media at CKA Save Project. For more information about the CKA Save Project, visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.